All right, hello everyone. My name is Disc. This is a 21 Magisters Terrace. A little bit of a repeat for the channel, but it was a timed key for IO, so we're gonna use it. For talents, not too much to it. I do run Mass Dispel here. We have magic dots to dispel. And this was a pretty good key. It was resilient. I think we had to try it 3 times before we timed. We timed with 2 minutes to spare. Ellesmere's raid frames for targeted cast, Ellesmere's damage meters. Center of my screen is just action bars for action buttons. And I'm using better Blizz plates for nameplates. I have a macro to fire Radiance Evangelism and Shield at the tank if I like. I mouse it over if I rather. I also have a keybind for shields at player. Okay, so first pull here. We had several reps here, so all I'm thinking about, I want to throw out some natural attacks, throw out a penance, get all 5 targets dotted, and then uppies as quickly as I can. Now we don't need uppies here, but it's mainly to set it in line for the second uppies. Fade on top of the knock. Goes without saying. And in this next hallway, what I'm practicing here is removing the magic dots as quickly as I can. If you do it quickly enough, it dodges all damage. So let's see. Okay, that one got 1 tick. Also what I'm thinking about is dot spread on the gather here. I still have Mass Dispel. I played a personal there for the second magic dot. There's the Mass. So in between dispels, looks like I cast 1 extra dot. Cast a second dot. I have a little bit of mana to give here is all I'm thinking. There's another dot. So I'm doing my best to have full dot spread here. We need the Shadow Mend, and it helps the pull a little. Okay, and I think I'm also trying to set up for a meld drink here. Only at 50% mana, but we're full. So I hide chat in combat. I just like that real estate back. But it looks like, I think there were a couple moments in this key where the group wasn't happy with me. I think they were just being a little picky. So, whatever. PI's out. And the cadence of our pulls here, we've been taking AMZ on the first Ignite. So I held back on my spells, but I believe the next one, I Evangelism, or I might use nothing, let's see. But we're tracking that timer on the nameplate. Fade on top of the ignition, obviously. It looks like I held back on Evangelism altogether. Okay, both paints ups. I refresh a palm out of combat. And this is where we have a fun strategy. So I put a shield on the tank, I give him a feather, and he is letting us buy this sentry. I forget, I'm not sure what his plan was exactly, if he's trying to live or not, but all 3 attempts he dies here. But all I do is I pre-cast a mass res. That was something I got in better practice of. And he had a res that was almost instant. And this is boss. With Pyromancer, our focus is going to be the Pyromancer. Ignition here on the open. Pair it with Evangelism. We need everyone full health when these little worms die. Both personals are played. A flash heal is played for the extra 10% DR. No personals, but I have 2 paint ups and uppies and 5. So I think I play a couple of manual spells and then the uppies. And pretty much that's how you have to do it. I think you could get away with it better in lower keys. But uppies on its own just isn't enough. So I like to play it with my natural spells first. Those have pretty good power. And then working the uppies late, if you will. Okay, so this is our damage phase. Pumping as much as I can. Gave him a Mind Blast and a Penance. And with Bigwigs, that's really all we're tracking. We're tracking the knockback. Almost don't have to, I just pair Fade with it. And tracking the damage amp. But we are pulling these extra worms. I forget when exactly we did that, so let's see. I think it's the next one. I should have mass dispelled that one. It's okay. I think I get a second single dispel here. And before these guys blow up, I want both personals. Let's see. Desperate Prayer and Fade. Evangelism. And we had an AMZ. And I think we needed all of it. Okay. We have our damage phase. I'm going to want 1 Mind Blast, 1 Radiance for a big penance here. There it is. Shielding the tank. Mind Blast early. Radiance as a reaction. Unload the big penance. There's a mass. Don't really need it, but whatever. Okay, just got PI. I think what I'm trying to do here is hold for the next damage phase. Fade on every hit. I'm also holding Mind Blast for the phase 2. Playing DPS Priest as much as I can. Alright, so PI's out on the Death Knight. I queued it right on the start of the boss channel. Played one of the orb mechanics. It looks like I got 2 fat penance into him with Mind Blast. 10% left, 20% mana. Shielded the tank there before the tank buster. Trying to set myself up for a drink here. Getting where I need to be already. Refresh a palm as my last cast. And I want to put my focus on one of the humans because they're going to live. My thought is, you know, a large portion of our heals come from attacking enemies. I can't fumble with the target, so I need it on the large health guy in the back. It's also really good to target him to see where his glaives are going. Oh, we might have some deaths here, or it's a different run. Just got uppies as the attack finished. Okay, I'm picked here. Let's see what I do. Meld. So really great use of meld here because it mitigates the entire cast. Played meld early. I likely get one more in the hallway. But we also have uppies. I'd like to get it on cooldown. But this pull doesn't really need it anymore. And we had a second meld there from the Demon Hunter. We really just fucked that pull up. Enemy Purge to get that shield off. Okay, scanning buffs. We have 1 paints up, 1 uppies. PI. Focusing on dot spread before the pull gets hard. Oh. I throw paints up on the tank. In hindsight, not the best play. We also overlapped. But focusing really hard on getting quick magic dispels here, name of the game, and watching for where these glaives are going. And we can do that pretty easily with Ellesmere's and his targeted casts. Okay, looks like I cancel that uppies early. Sometimes you have to. Okay, going on the Death Knight and myself. He preemptively used a defensive, he's seen it coming. And when I was picked, I paired it with a Fade. Alright, and so this is where they flame me a second time. I take the buff. I've been told to take the buff before, and no one else was going for it. So I don't know. So we do select our kill target as the left guy. Playing an extra dot while we have an interim. Another dot. Okay, I have meld. I'd really like to play it. Defensive penance. Okay, good. We got a meld there. That's going to help us level out. Meld from the Demon Hunter. Meld from the Priest. And the only thing I could have done better there is if I was ready, or at least spam my macro to meld drink. So that was the last mechanic here. That meld, it would have been better paired with my drink. Obviously, I'm at 10% mana. See, that was the second thing they didn't like. I don't know. We lived, so. Okay, this boss, tracking 2 spells, the marks and a suppression zone. I look at that as the AoE group damage. Anytime you're picked, personals. And I'm giving myself a little extra love here with defensive penance. Looks like I should have delayed my Desperate Prayer too. But it's like every third attack, the player has to hold the bleed longer, waiting for the suppression zone. So those are the ones that are a little bit spooky, and you have to be extra careful with coverage. But thankfully we're getting Innervate here. I love it. We also have boss purges, enemy purge. I think the Demon Hunter is taking care of almost all of them though. Okay, let's see. No personals, no paints up. Something I hope I'm thinking is let's play more shields. I have mana. We need those paints ups back. Covering those that are holding the bleed. And here comes the AoE group damage. I play my Fade and Evangelism. Wish I had more coffee. Okay, I use Desperate Prayer just to help myself out. Maybe not the best play. In hindsight, I would have rather it for a glaive. Mind Blast and a defensive penance. Radiance into the uppies. Totally covered. We just got PI 2. Just sent PI. So if I'm playing my Mind Blast before I step in. Okay, I'm picked, and this is the threatening one. Desperate Prayer, Defensive Penance. Putting all my personal heals into myself. Fade. And it looks like it happened again too, so if anyone's watching this, if you're in that little interim where you have to wait and hold a bleed, looks like it's better to hold your Desperate Prayer by a couple of seconds so that it covers you while you're stepping in the suppression zone too. The way those timed out for me is I lost my Desperate Prayer buff right before the suppression zone spawned, so I think holding it by a couple of seconds would be a better play. And I can't, you used to be able to click that thing and drink at the same time. You can't do that anymore, so I don't know. I just take it as an opportunity to get full mana. Okay, and then I'll open here. Getting penance out early. Prime directive is spread as many dots as I can while we get there. Might have heard me talk about it in the past, but I have my target's dot frame showing 1 unit on top of my penance icon. It helps me monitor if my target's holding a dot and if they're free to take a penance, because we never want to miss dot spread. Okay, and X-Boss here coming in real handy. We have one spell we're tracking on nameplates. It's the big group AoE. My philosophy with those type spells is there is no telegraph associated. It's an invisible timer. So those are the type spells we want to track and see the timers of, because that's where we have to play our Mind Blast or our Uppies, Evangelism. Okay, so also in this run, I'm playing without Psychic Scream. I'm trusting the group to get the Terror Waves. So there is nothing I can do to help this pull out except heal and damage. So let's see, spreading my dots with Penance. And I believe I'll even cast a few extra dots here. So far I've not cast any extra dots. Maybe I'm thinking to hold mana instead. Okay, there's an extra dot. There's an extra dot. So the next pull, I guess it's more standard than I thought, but we take the whole room basically. I need to get dot spread out ASAP for my Shadowman procs. I need to watch the massive absorb that goes on the tank. And I also have to time my group healing with the AoE. So we're tracking both of those spell timers on the enemy nameplate. And I think we do it just fine. Okay, so we have PI, we have Uppies, Evangelism, both personals, both paint ups. So I put my focus on the guy that does the AoE. Bigger threat, if you ask me. So for the absorb on the tank is either taking Shadowmans or defensive penance. Okay, and we have a darkness.
Your survival wasn't necessary.
Okay. That really sucks. I think I give a defensive penance here. Uppies, I mean, you don't see that too often for the tank. That really sucked to die. I lost my Shadowman procs mainly. I should have played a paints up on myself, is what I should have done. Yeah, and I have no procs right now. Okay. Health pushing. It's getting really dicey here. Defensive penance for the tank. Paints up on him too. So I wish I had played that better. Hard pull for sure. But I think if I'd done a little bit better, we would have saved almost 45 seconds here. 30 seconds from 2 deaths, plus this loss from the hunter. I should have gripped him in. But all I would have needed to have done there, I think I did get a double mechanic. I think it was the AoE with a bolt. Someone can check me on that. I had 2 paints ups in the chamber. If I'd given myself 1, it would have made all the difference. Sad. But we do time with 2 minutes to spare. Okay, we just got PI, but I'm waiting for the triplicate here. Get more value out of it. And all I'm tracking is the Cosmic Sting and the Grasp. Sting is a little dot. The Grasp can be more substantial later in the fight. Okay, here comes a Grasp. Pair it with Fade. Pair it with Evangelism. Okay, now next we have a Cosmic Sting. Unpicked. Void Shields. And I always like playing a Flash Heal on someone for that 10% damage reduction. That was not my best round. I really needed to get Mind Blast out there for some group healing, but it didn't happen. That's fine. Defensive penance for the Sting. Personal Void Shield. Keeping my dots active. This is a pretty good fight for Discipline because we always have Shadow Mins in the chamber. Okay, let's see. Just got Evangelism. That's going to be really good for the next Grasp if we get one. I might use it here on the Sting, to be honest. I saw that coming. So here's the Uppies round again. Like I was saying before, Uppies is not really a perfect spell. You have to plan your use and generally plan it with other spells first. So I played a couple Shadow Mins for direct healing and then a delayed Uppies. The Death Knight or someone got in a little bit dicey of waters, but we got it. Okay, so we're back to a pull that has a Terror. I cannot fear, so the best thing I can do here is heal. Focus on dot spread. Don't step in puddles. And this, I wasn't aware the first time, but I'm aware this time. Taking the platform. So tank and I overlapped there, not great, but we'll be okay. And we do have to watch for tank absorbs here. We're back to those mobs. I needed that void shield on myself, that's okay. So I'm on the Devouring Tyrant here. He's the biggest mob. Void shield tank, we just had more engage. PIs in 3. Guys out. Shadowman for the win. Okay, 20% mana. We need a little bit of help here. But we're almost in the clear. We have 7.5 minutes. I'm going to drink to full here. No, only 70. So I don't want to miss my opportunity on this open to dot spread. One way I think about it is while there are less mobs, it's easier to get dots out. As soon as there's more mobs, it's harder. We need those Shadowmans in the bank. A couple extra globals for a couple more dots. And focusing the Tyrant. Man, I love these innervates. Mind Blast, Radiance, Shadowmend, Offensive Penance. Uh-oh. So the next boss, I think we can go ahead and talk about it. We do get a really nice play here of double grip, one of the only things I like about Oracle. But on next boss we have 3 target cleave. They're shown as private auras. You want to play personals anytime you're picked, and you have to watch for overlapping mechanics that come from players' positions. So I use party nameplates. That's the only way I know to do it really, is to see whom is stepping into a volleyball and if they're also holding a dot. So we have to watch for double mechanics. We have to grip the Hunter and Death Knight here. Death Knight, Hunter. Boom. Stacking up a single palm here out of combat. And drink. Big drink. We're at 80, but I want 100. So we have to focus on dispels here. There might be one that I was late on. Let's see if we can find my mistakes. Okay, here goes the 3 target cleave. We're going to see a lot more defensive penance here just because I really want to time this. Okay, so I have an overlapping mechanic like we were talking about. Perfect time for Desperate Prayer. Extra love with the defensive penance. Personal void shields. We have uppies, both paints ups and evangelism. Fade. Evangelism. We needed all of that. Okay, the next entropy is coming up. That's really all I'm tracking. Everything else, I think you can see it. So I gave heals to others, and I took uppies as my personal defensive that round. Fade as I step in, had a void shield on. There was no overlapping mechanic there, so that was an easy one. And this one I take a personal paints up. So a lot of times what I do with that is I just start flash healing others, and I take the binding heals or defensive penance others, things like that. So I look at it as freedom to kind of like, step away from myself, obviously. Okay. That was an overlapping mechanic, but all I did was fade. Looks like I didn't need Desperate Prayer just yet. Some Shadowmans for the win here. So I took a Desperate Prayer that time, but there was no overlapping mechanic. I kind of wish I didn't, but that's okay. PI is out, mana's on track. And here's the evangelism. Defensive penance. So we see a lot of it as Mind Blast into a defensive penance. I think of it as kind of like a currency. We're buying one of our largest single target heals that way, especially when you pair it with Radiance. Okay, so I faded that one. Finally an execute range. Final paints up. I give love to others. Health potion 2, we're just not playing around. Pretty much have no spells and no mana. I could mana potion, it looks like. Okay, Desperate Prayered that one. I had an overlapping mechanic. And timed. So it took every bit of my mana, but that was, I think, my third. And that was my second, 21 tonight. We did a MC, Magisters, Terrace, and Skyreach. They were all different groups too. We just happened to work out. Please don't read what I'm saying in chat. I was a little bit stoned. They were giving me hell the whole time, but the way I see it is we all lived. If we were in Discord, those things wouldn't have happened. I think the only play where I really wish I could redo it was the double pull before the boss that splits. All I needed to have done was a paints up there, and we would have saved a lot of time and headache. But it was a quick play, you know. I'm gonna have to watch it back myself to see if there's anything else I could have done, but that's a practice I encourage everyone to do. Is always be critical of yourself, look for things that you could have done to change the outcome. Fair to look at what things other people could have done. But like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Medify for WoW coaching. And until next time, Disc out.